So any point of time, if you wanted to start with learning in any topic, right, you always should have a one particular three questions, not one. So three question is why we are using it, right? Then second question is what is all about. Then third question is how to implement it. So not I'm talking about, it is basically either you are learning in Spring Boot, either you are learning into a what we can call as for React, Docker, Kubernetes and everything. So you need to understand what is this. Inside the Spring Boot, there are many such things. If you are using a asynchronous communication, using a Kafka and everything, why we are using it? If you are not using, what will happen? If you are using it, what are the problems we are solving it? Correct. So you will should have that first the answer of this question, why we are using it. Correct. So then you can go with the second answer. What is this all about? So we got that why we are required for Apache Kafka as a message broker. So first thing is that as an example, I'm giving an Apache Kafka. So earlier, if you are talking about when we are connecting with the Java applications using the messaging, we use the JMS, we use the some other messaging system. So why we need it, right? So we configure the queues and everything into a server and we connect it. Or if you are using through a messaging beans, I'm talking about older ways for EJBs and all these things. So still we use that consumer, it is connecting to a queue, we provide some JNDI details and we do it. Correct. But if we wanted to go at much more other level, so you can have a separate other system where you can create the queues and which can handle all this messaging architecture. Correct. And some other applications also can connect, which is not completely built on top of a Java. They can also connect to these brokers and can communicate with the help of messaging here. Right. So this is a one. Then you can go through little deep. What is the Kafka architecture? What are the different components inside the Kafka? And how these components are interacting, how it is working, what is the zookeeper, why we need it. All these things are basically it is coming into a what. Then once you have that, is for basically for a why and what, then you can use it how to implement it. So if you already know this why and what, then the part is very simple. How part is coding. So in
Yes,
that
yes.
coding, the API, right, and you can say the properties configuration, whatever it is you are using it, correct, and code. So in basically whatever type of code or libraries you need it, right? So in that scenario, jars or libraries, right? So all these things you need to import it, then you can use that through a code and you need to get some basic idea about it, how to use that APIs or code here. So this will be the exactly the scenario, or you can say the serial for if you wanted to learn anything and if you wanted to master. Then there is a much more, you will go into a much more advanced level, right? When you are working with some of the critical issues and all this. It is level when you are going with the intermediate to expert level. Correct. This is I'm talking about when you are a beginner and you wanted to become to a from the beginner to an intermediate level, right? Experts over there, then you need to have some different ways for doing the analysis and playing with the code and things like that.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is what I can say. So follow these things.